Hey guys, welcome. In this lecture we're going to be working on a cool loader ring animation. That's what it looks like. You can use it for all sorts. Alright, so we got a div, a class loader, and it's got 4 spans inside it. And those 4 spans are going to help us style our blur. We're going to do our basic reset. Really just styling all our different elements with 0 padding margin and a border box sizing. Body height, 100 viewport height. Background, dark purple. Display flex, justify content center, align center. Wow, thrilling. All right, our dark purple background. Very, very nice, very nice. So, going to style our loader, which is styling all our classes. So we're just going to give it its position on the screen. Position relative, width 100 pixels and a height 100 pixels. Border radius 50%. That makes it a circle. And background linear gradient. Just a moment. There we go. So okay, light blue to yellow to pink or purple. One of them. All right. So now the effect is caused by the spinning and the circle in the middle. So it's a linear gradient. It's not I don't know if you know what a hue circle looks like, but it's not one of those. All right. So we're working on styling our spans. Position absolute, width 100%, height 100%, puts them just exactly on top of our circle. Border radius 50%. And with the exact same linear gradient. So you can't even see them. And what we do is each nth child, we add a filter blur. The first one, 5 pixels. I'll copy that. Second one will be 10 pixels. Third one will be 25 pixels. And the last one will be 50 pixels. Now you can play around with that. You can use just one blur and see how that looks. You can use 2 blurs. You can play with the pixel size. Find whatever suits you. CSS is about being creative and exploring. All right, that's enough motivation for today. We're gonna add a after element to our loader. The empty content string, position absolute, top 10 pixels, left 10 pixels, right 10 pixels, bottom 10 pixels. There's probably another way to do that. There's many other ways to do that, but this is simple, this is easy. And we're going to color it same color as our background. All right, border radius, make it a circle. There you go. So it looks like a ring, even though between you and me, we all know it's just a bunch of spans layered on top of each other, all circle spans. Our animation, keyframes, animate, 0%, transform, rotate, 0 degrees. Anyone can guess what 100% is? That's right, it's transform, rotate, 360 degrees. I guess you could say this animation has come full circle. I'm really sorry. Anyway, animation, animate, 0.5 seconds, linear, infinite. And that's it, there you go. Got a cool ring, loader animation. Share it with your friends. Throw it at your enemies. Take care, guys. All the best. Hey, guys, and in this lecture, we're going to be working on a awesome loader ring animation. Slightly trippy, but very, very cool. I'll show you how that's done. We have our div with a class of loader and 15 spans. I know it looks like a lot, but in reality, it is a lot. Under our basic reset. Awesome. Yeah, I just decided to sit that one out. I've been making a lot of videos lately, a lot of lectures. Body, height, 100 viewport height, display, flex, justify, and align, center, background. That's not cyan. For some reason. Maroon? No. Purple. Pink? Who knows. Great. So we're going to style our loader. Position relative, width 300 pixels, height 300 pixels. Background white. And there you go. We got ourselves a nice cube. That's the end of the lecture. Just messing. Transform perspective 500 pixels, rotate X 60 degrees. There you go. Now it's on an angle. Angled box. Transform style, preserve 3D. Alright, so we're going to style all the spans in our loader class. Position absolute. And our display block. It's important to mention that spans are an inline element. And so we do display blocks so we can give them height and width. And that they'll be one on top of the other and not spread out in a line. So our border, we got a 2 pixel solid border, solid white border. And that'll just look like a ring. Border radius 50%, right? Makes it a circle. And transform translate Z minus 100 pixels. Now I haven't given it height or width yet. So what I'm gonna do is just I wrote out all this code before, because each one of them has a different. We're doing How are we doing height and width? We're doing it distance from the sides of the box we did at the beginning. All right. So if our top and left and right and bottom's distance from the side is 10 pixels, our circle will be very big because it's almost a full box. If the distance from the rest of the loader class square is a lot of pixels, then the circle will be small. So instead of typing all that out for you, I just copied in the whole thing. It's very easy to understand. Just take a second, pause if you have to, look at that. So we're going to create our animation. Call it animate, and at 0, our transform translate Z is minus 100 pixels, right? So in the 3D world, that's the towards us and away from us, I think is a not bad explanation. Add our animation to the loader spans and give it 3-second ease in, ease out, infinite. Okay, it's something for sure, but it's not quite what we're going for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add animation delay to each and every one of the spans. Now, as past me adds the delay to our spans, present me will tell you that if you have any questions or any requests for tutorials you would like to see as lectures, please ask that in our Q&A section, and we'll tell you. So each of our animation delays is just 0.10 seconds more than the one before it. And I skipped showing all that typing. So you've got that. You just even take a second look at the source code, and you can see that's what it looks like with animation delay. Just the rings heading up and down. Awesome loader effect. See you in the next lecture. Hello and welcome to another lecture on the subject of loading screens. We're going to be creating these 3 loaders, and you can just use one of them for your site. You don't need all 3, or you can use 12 or as many as you like. Anyway, what we have our body, and we have 3 divs, each one with a class of loader and an SVG within it. And one of our loaders also has a class of triangle. These are our 3 SVG elements. They're a little bit big at the moment, so we'll shrink them down. So I head to our CSS and to perform our basic reset to all our elements, our pseudo elements, and just set their padding and margin to 0, and a border box sizing. Wonderful. Now for our body, we are going to go ahead and set them in height to 100 viewport height. And our background to white, just like that. And our display flex, justify content center, align items left. No, not really left. Align items center. I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. Now we're going to define our loader class, which is every different icon, every div has a loader class, so this affects all of the different elements. We're going to have a width of 44 pixels and a height of 44 pixels. Set their position to relative. And now we're going to just separate the styling for the loader triangle. And we're just going to give it a little bit more width so it looks good. So that one's going to be 48 pixels. All right. Only the triangle has an extra loader because it's three-sided, and we're using 4 sides for the other 2. Add a margin between them, 16 pixels, just to give us a little space on our screen. What we're going to do now is we're going to style our SVGs, display block, and width 100%, height 100%, so that they fill the loader containers. And for the rectangle, we're going to type out the rectangle one, copy that a couple times, and just change it to apply to both the circle and the triangle. And we're going to define fill as none. Oh, that didn't work. Just a moment, hang on. Okay, the class is called load. I misspelled the loader class, so we'll cancel that out, and it should work for us. And we're gonna do just a dark colored stroke and apply a stroke width of 10 pixels. Okay, so now you get the outline. So now we're going to apply a specific stroke disarray to our triangle. Now the dash array, stroke dash array, what that is it defines 145 pixels of line, 76 pixels of break, another 145 of line, and 70 pixels of break. Okay, so because it comes out one on top of the other, and so our breaks are both in the same place. You could probably just use one, just half of that. You don't need the last 2 numbers, but it's useful for other things, so I'm going to leave it like this. So for our rectangle, we've done our dash array 192.64, and for our circle 150.50, 150.50. Now, what we'll do is we'll add a dash offset. We're going to do 0 for the rectangle and the triangle, but for the circle, we're just going to move it a little bit forward so they're all have the break on the left. You see how we've changed that so the break is on the left. And we're going to change our stroke line cap to round, and that just rounds off the edges for us. And the stroke line join also round so that the corners aren't square corners. We're going to add a before element to our loader, and these will be the little dots. Empty content string, width of 6 pixels, height of 6 pixels, 6 pickle height. I wonder how high a pickle is. Border radius 50% and position absolute. I'm going to position it as top 37 pixels and left 19 pixels. That should place it right in the middle. Okay, it's in the middle, but it's in the wrong middle. And our background purple display block. And we're going to translate it to minus 10 pixels and minus 10 pixels. That should place it. There we go. Almost centered, and all of them. The triangle one's a little out of place. So we're just going to create a different before element for loader triangle, which will cancel out the previous one the triangle had. And we're going to define it as left 23 pixels and transform translate -10 -10, and right, that puts it in the middle for us. Okay, so we're going to add our animation, and we're going to call it path triangle, and duration of 3 seconds. And we'll be using a cubic Bezier effect that we got from our cubic Bezier generator online, and it'll be an infinite loop. And we're going to use the same path for each of our SVGs. Just one will be path rectangle, it'll be path circle. So now all I have to do is define that animate. Its keyframes. So for path triangle, what we're going to do is we're going to set it the dash offset. We're just going to change the dash offset, the stroke dash offset. Sorry. And so at 1/3 of the way, 33%, it's at 74. At 66, it's at 147, and 100%, it's at 221. All right, so each step, another side disappears as the stroke is just pushed along the path. We're going to create another animation called path rect, so for our square shape. And as it has 4 sides, we're going to use 4 keyframes, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. Right, and the numbers I'm using for the stroke dash offset, actually you can either just copy mine exactly, or you can find them. You can find the dimensions in JavaScript. It's just a moment. You can find probably a quick tutorial on it anywhere. All right, so we're going to create it for a path circle, and yet again we're going to be using dimensions for the offset that we have previously found. If you ask, we can give you a more detailed explanation in the Q&A section. We're going to apply each animation to its element. All right, now these are for the dots, which we still have to add the keyframes for those. Just calling them dot rect. And now the dot rect will work also for the circle because the dot's moving to the same places within it. And you're just going to transform and translate to 0, 0. I'm going to do that 25%. And then at 75%, I'm going to transform translate to 10 pixels minus 10 pixels. Sorry, that's a 50%. At 75%, we're going to transform translate to 0 and minus 36 pixels. And at 100%, we're going to transform translate to minus 18 pixels and minus 18 pixels. I think I accidentally said 10 pixels on the 50%, so no, that's definitely 18 and minus 18. The last thing to animate is our keyframes for the triangle. It's 3 sides, so we need 3 steps: 33%, 66%, and 100%. I'm just gonna do a similar thing: transform, translate, 0, 0. Copy that. And for 66%, we're going to do 10 pixels and minus 18 pixels. 100%, we're going to do minus 10 and minus 18. And there you have it. You got our cool loader animations. And then see you next lecture.